Hi, my name is Amanda Ruano. This is my oral presentation for Mr. Baker's Philosophy 103 Introduction to Ethics class. Today I will be discussing ethics and how that relates to my major and my career. So to start off, I wanted to just cover some basics. So to start off, I wanted to talk about philosophy, which ethics is one of the many branches of. Now, philosophy has many different definitions. It has worn many different hats over the years. But what it's most known for is the study of knowledge. So, like I said, ethics was one of the many branches of philosophy. It's also known as moral philosophy, and it's the study of what's right and what's wrong, or the study of morality. So, over the last 4 weeks, we've really dived deep into ethics and moral philosophy. We've gone over everything from what, moral philosophy actually means to the Socratic method. One thing that I didn't realize was going to be covered inside of ethics is arguments, more specifically how to dissect them and how to structure them. But after reading about it, it really makes sense that this is included in the material because, sometimes you have to defend your moral stance in certain situations or dilemmas. So to be able to step back and think critically about them without your feelings getting in the way is really helpful. One thing that we did cover in detail that made a lot of sense and really helped put ethics into perspective was the 4 elements of ethics. I'm only going to cover the first 2 now, and then I was going to cover the second 2 later. So the first one I wanted to bring up was the preeminence of reason, which is basically critical reasoning, as being able to step back and think about, a certain dilemma or issue logically and critically. The second one I wanted to bring up was the dominance of moral norms, basically just meaning, you have all sorts of sets of norms, whether it's social norms, aesthetic norms, judicial norms, but in any given situation, moral norms are going to take the precedent over the other ones. So, before I get to the other 2, I wanted to give you a little background information. Right now, I am a nursing major at the Stanton campus, hoping to get my RN. I wanted to work in pediatrics or labor and delivery. So ethics really, it goes hand in hand with nursing. There's really no way to have nursing without ethics. Other than patient care, it's one of the foundational requirements in the field. Luckily, we have something that's called the code to fall back on, which is actually the code of ethics for nursing. So that's actually a guide that all nurses have to adhere to, a standard that everybody has to perform. It gives us the ethical values, obligations, and duties that are upheld to every nurse. And it's just something really cool that has to be done and we have to uphold. So understanding ethics shapes the way that, that I will give patient care, not only knowing what's right and what's wrong, but be able to step back and think critically and logically. Also to be able to form logical arguments, being able to fight for my patient when something doesn't seem right. So other than that, there was 2 other elements that I wanted to bring up, the other 2 from before. The first one I wanted to talk about was the universal perspective. And that means that any moral statement that is true in one situation will be true in all other situations, which I think will be very invaluable when nursing and having certain patients and knowing what to do in very similar situations. The other one I wanted to bring up was the principle of impartiality, which basically means that you have to treat everyone, the same, everybody equally, except for when there's a morally relevant difference between people. The book uses a very nice example when it says if you're working in an ER and somebody comes in with a heart attack, and you have a couple other people there who are there for not as severe cases, you're going to obviously divert all your attention, or most of your attention and resources, to the more critical patients. And I just thought that was a great example of the principle of impartiality. So not only will I use that in nursing, but I feel like all the elements of ethics, as well as, arguments and the Socratic method, will be really invaluable with nursing, as well as all the things that we still have to cover. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Amanda Ruano. Have a good night.